Okay, guys. So I'm going to be talking about yin and yang dynamics. Okay. And just how I'm hoping in this video, as I explain these things, it's going to kind of maybe hopefully shift your focus when I'm describing some of these things that we may face in our life. So I'm just going to get right into it. Okay. And I got three things to talk about, kind of like yin and yang dynamics. The first one being our fears. Now, there's always things that we're scared of, insecurities we have. And now the yin and yang dynamic to that would be fear and courage, right? And so here's the thing, right? If you're scared of doing something, if you're scared to try new things, whatever that may be for you, if you continue to show up and press through, even though you're afraid, then the yin and yang dynamic would be obviously, like I said, fear and courage. So even though you are afraid, okay, you have fear, I would encourage you and help you, look in this way. It was like more than being afraid, you are actually courageous, okay? Because again, there is no courage without the fear, okay? That's the only reason it's courage, yin and yang. So you kind of see where I'm going with this, right? Another one would be strength. There's strength, like I've explained in different videos, strength and like emotional strength, mental strength, strength within taming your tongue. And the opposite of strength would be weakness, right? Or like a vulnerability. And so when you are at a moment where you can feel maybe weak, or you feel some sort of intense pressure that obviously can make you feel kind of like weak-ish or fatigued, but yet you still can push through, right? Like, in your workouts, you're coming at the end and it's like, okay, just one more push, one more rep. And again, or like I explained, someone's calling you out your name and saying rude things, and you're very slow to speak with your words. Okay, you're not being rash just like the other person. Okay, these are strengths. And the only reason it's strength is because there's the ability to conform into weakness, right? When that pressure is on, strength and weakness. Okay, so when you're struggling, you're going through a hard time, you have the ability to just give into that weakness. But what makes you strong is because you're pushing past the weakness and into strength. You're saying this is hard, but again, I'm going to keep going. Like I said, one more rep, tame my tongue, be very slow to speak, even though I am super irritated right now. That is strength demonstrated. And then my final one that I would be talking about is faith. Now, faith can be obviously in God. Maybe it's faith that, your business idea would work, faith that um, maybe you'll meet the love of your life someday. I think the easy example would be God. I want to use the God example because, I'm a Christian. And one thing when I was in youth group growing up, one of the speakers at the time was talking in First Corinthians chapter 13, where it talks about love, and it ends with saying that faith, hope, and love are like three of like the most powerful things that remain, but the greatest was love. And he would say, why is that? Well, when you're in heaven with Jesus, okay, you don't have to have faith and hope anymore, because you see God with your very own eyes. Your hope has been realized. You're in heaven, okay? And so all that remains is to be surrounded in God's love. Faith is not always, I understand it all. And that's where I was going with that passage is, all right, you don't need the faith and the hope and all that, because again, that would be realized in heaven. But since that's not the case for us, not yet on this earth, we still need the faith. Okay, we still need the hope. Once we're in heaven, that's all done, and then we only need the love. And that's why love is the greatest. But that's always spoken to faith to me, is because we're not in heaven yet. And so I have to continue to have faith, because right now at this present moment, I need to have faith because I haven't fully seen it realized. I haven't fully seen God with my own eyes yet. And so, like all of us, believers in Jesus and maybe your own religious beliefs, you're going to have moments when you're like, man, am I sure that I know what my faith is? And hey, maybe it's, again, a business idea or something in life that you're believing for. What makes it faith is you have the ability to doubt. You have the ability to turn back. You have the ability to give into those fears and doubts. And so faith, again, yin and yang dynamic. Faith is saying, I recognize my doubts. I recognize the questions I have in my heart and in my mind. But again, I'm going to press through, and that's what makes it faith. Because it's in the midst of those doubts and those fears and questions you might have, but still choosing to press through anyway, that makes it faith. So that's where I was getting at with these yin and yang dynamics. I hope it makes sense for you guys, and thank you.